We bought this little fishing boat the other day. It's a Seahog Sea Jeep. It's a Hatsu engine. And once we'd shaken the fella's hand, we should have walked away really, but we'd shaken his hand, so we noticed that the transom is a bit empty. Now the transom should be stuffed with plywood, but it seems to have disappeared, to have rotted away. We should have walked away from the boat, but we had shaken hands, so we took it. My fault. Something to look out for next time. Always remember to check the transom is well stuffed. Anyway, I'm going to have to do something about it. We bought the boat as a non-runner. Had the engine running in 20 minutes or so. He said he had it running weeks ago, but he was obviously telling fibs or imagining things, because the carburetor was completely blocked up and had been for a long time, I would think. Now, looking from inside the boat, we can see that from side to side, the full depth of the transom to the bottom of this well, there's obviously supposed to be some plywood in there. You can even see daylight through just there. So no matter what we do, that core needs replacing. Can't really replace it from inside the boat and re-fibreglass because it goes above the engine well. Now the back of the boat, the top of the transom, is covered with this aluminium strip which is pop riveted on, which I really don't imagine will be manufacturer original. It always surprises me. People won't touch their own car, but they go out and spend 20 grand on a boat and get the old Black & Decker out and drill holes all over it. Anyway, I wasn't expecting to find this. It's open between the upper structure and the lower structure, so my job is probably going to be easier than I expected it to be. Now the transom itself is about 2 inches thick, which is about as thick as 2 3/4 inch pieces of plywood plus 2 layers of fibreglass. So I imagine the upper part of this transom strengthening ply will be a double thickness. I don't like the idea of going in from the back, so I'm going in from above, which means I'm going to have to cut away the top of this transom, which is a shame because a lot of the strength comes in this thickness here. But the transom is collapsing inwards from the back, and it is also collapsing where the motor has been clamped on too tight. Blithering idiots. Now I can feel some restriction there, just over 1 inch in. So I'm going to do my first cut 1 inch back from the transom. And I've got a marking gauge here to put a mark along with. Well, this isn't exactly what I was expecting. We've taken off this strip of fibreglass, the body, which I cut away with my trusty multi-tool, which I've had for probably 30 years. It seems the ply core is inside another moulding, and the second ply core, which supports the motor bracket, goes on top of that, and that has completely rotted away. Well, we know they've both rotted away. So I'm going to continue chipping out this resin. They've just capped it off with probably 1.5 inches of resin. and see how we can get into that. There, now I've made a bit more space, we can peep into there and see it isn't even good quality ply, it's shuttering ply by the looks of things, but it has completely gone, rotted away. I have tried various implements to get the scrap ply out, and the further down I go the more solid the ply is. So I'm currently using an 18-inch long 18mm spade bit. When I get to the bottom I'm going to grind the point off so that I don't go through the fiberglass, but it's rather tedious. I tried blowing the waste out with compressed air, not very successful because the waste is so wet it's just clogging in there. So I've made a long extension for a vacuum cleaner out of 15mm plumbing pipe. I cut that end with the pipe cutter to restrict the end a little bit so that anything too big gets stuck there rather than halfway up the tube. Well, I've been about 3 hours on the job already, so now I better go and do something a bit more important to please Rosie for the rest of the day. So once we had drilled down the transom here, we found water dribbling into the transom out of the foam at the bottom, and in the period of a couple of weeks we've accumulated nigh on a bucketful of water out of the foam. It stopped dripping, so that's about it. But what I'm about to do, I would recommend anybody with one of these boats does. Now the floor in this boat is good and solid, which means that the foam underneath should be fairly solid. And at the back here we've got a drainage well, a bilge. So what I'm planning to do is to drill a hole into the foam at the bottom of the bilge and fit one of these stoppers so that when the boat is on dry land we can be permanently draining that foam, which has got to be a good thing. Anyway, here goes. So what I'm planning to do is drill a hole as low as I can to drain as much of that foam as I can. I think it will be a really good addition to the boat. Well, we have cleaned out the voids in the transom right down to the bottom. A huge amount of work, probably a day and a half's work actually. We used 18mm spade drills, wore one out, we ground the tip off another one so it wasn't too aggressive, and the first one that we wore out we converted into a long chisel for scraping the rotten ply that had adhered to the sides of the fiberglass. Then we made another chisel which is made out of a piece of box section which is 18mm wide, and fastened it to a long handle. We constantly vacuumed bits of rubbish out, very tedious, and we used compressed air to loosen stuff and blow it away. Anyway, it's clean now. We've taped up any holes to stop fiberglass resin running out. The wooden transom lining was made in two parts. There was 18mm ply which covered a large area of the back of the boat, and forward of that there was a piece about 3 inches deep and maybe half an inch thick. We're replacing it in 3 separate pieces that we can feed in, push the first 2 to the edge, and then drop the long piece in the middle. When we have done that, we're going to put the ply in a similar manner in separate pieces. Because we can't get a full width piece of ply in, because the ply extends beyond the end of the cutout, we're putting it in several pieces, laminating it, and I'm just going to show you how we do it. The first piece goes in. And the second piece goes in to make up the first lamination. Then the next piece goes in with the joint staggered, so the joint on this piece is at the port side of the boat. So the two laminations are in there, and then the third lamination, the middle lamination, we're putting in 3 pieces. But first, John's just going to check that we've got a 6mm gap all the way down the middle. Then the middle there, we put the 2 outers in first, and we've left them overlong and put hand grips on them to make it easier to get them in and out, and to be able to do the final adjustments. And then the final piece goes in and locks the whole lot together. Now I'm not going to film us doing this with the resin. The actual run, this is just a dry run, because we will need all 4 hands, I think, and we will need to concentrate on the job, because we're just going to get one shot of it. However, when it's dried, we will then cut the protruding ply off the bits with the hand holes and fill the voids. So now we've just managed to get these laminations in. We're pouring the surplus resin in to fill any gaps. It was something of a race against time. We used a paint roller to coat everything in resin. I think we're going to be needing to mix a bit more, just to, because there's a big gap down there, Johnny.
Yeah.
So we've got a row of clamps across the back here. They're not really clamping the thing together. We're just making sure that the 2 layers of the transom are parallel. Try to do a nice job here now. Well, we've filled the back of the transom now with resin to the top, and we're just making good these damaged areas of the transom by filling them with fiberglass mat, and now that we've got it nearly to the surface, we're going to cover it with a bit of this very fine finishing mat just to bring it level. So now we've just filled the top of the transom. I don't know whether it was necessary, but we've done it with resin and a piece of oak as a filler. We've flattened the repairs that we did to the damaged part of the transom. We've drilled all the holes in the appropriate places, and we've made a stainless steel cover plate which covers any seam and adds some strength to the back of the transom and some pressure bearing areas for the outboard. So we're just going to stick this on with sealant, put plenty of sealant inside all the holes before we put the bolts through, and yeah, I think it'll be a good job. Well, the job was very much a success, and I forgot to take some video of it when it was complete, but the transom was as solid as a rock. So I will try and explain a little bit further on paper what we have done. This is a section through the boat, this being the transom. The pink hatching is the foam underneath the floor, the purple line is the floor, and this area is the internal gunnel, and this is the wall of the boat, the hull. So I hope that's as clear as mud. Now the transom should have been stuffed with 2 pieces of plywood where the cross hatching is. It had completely vanished. This is the well forward of the engine. The engine sits up here. There is a double top hat bush, well, there are 3 of them actually, which are supposed to drain that well to the outside. They hadn't been sealed from new. There were also several holes drilled through the transom for various fittings, like an outboard bracket, the auxiliary bracket, and various other things, all of which had let water into the ply, which had then got down into the foam at the back of the boat. So when we removed the ply, or the remains of the ply, we had the dirty filthy water dribbling out of the back of the boat. Now this is a plan view of the floor in the boat. Transom of course is here. Underneath the well for the outboard, being this area here, there is a drainage bilge at the back of the boat. There is a plug, a bung, which goes to the outside so you can drain the boat when it's on hard standing. We added one there initially to try and drain the foam, because the foam was draining back into the transom. But you could put 2 more at the sides here, so that the whole of the foam has a chance to drain when the boat isn't being used. And for maybe clarity, maybe not, this is a picture of the transom looking from above. The pink line is the cutout, the access that we had into the job. The brown lines are the pieces of pitch pine that we put in as the forward stiffening. Obviously we couldn't get the full width in through the pink cutout, so the 2 green pieces are the 2-part 6mm plies, and the blue is the piece the final piece that we had to put in 3 pieces. So we put 1 piece in, drove it to that side, next piece in, drove it to that side, and then drove the other one down with the final piece. We drove it down from the middle. I hope everybody gets the gist of what I'm trying to say. We covered them all liberally with resin to try and waterproof them before we put them in, and to stick them together, and we poured resin into all the voids, lots of resin. I think we used about 8 litres of resin on this job. It took a lot more than I expected. The piece of stainless steel that we capped the transom with, which covered all the old holes up, the reason it was that size, it's a very good reason. It's the only piece of stainless steel that I had. It would have been better if it was full width, but around here we like to use what we've got. I'll be going up to Elgin to visit the boat. It's 200 miles away. I'll be going up in a couple of weeks, and I hope to put a video on of us catching lots of fish. So thank you for watching. I hope you find this inspiring and helpful. Would I do it this way again? I think the answer to that is I will be much more careful about buying a boat that needs transom repairs. You can't go in from the front of the boat, from the inside of the boat. I really don't like the idea of cutting a great big hole in the stern. I just don't see it being as strong afterwards. So maybe if I had to, but it is a huge amount of work. Anyway, thank you for watching.